Everybody across the country saying, man, if it wasn't so many criminals and so much crime going on in Memphis, Tennessee, these people wouldn't be there. What crimes is they stopping early in the morning while everybody is trying to go to work? Y'all is pulling people over for drive-out tags and no insurance, this, that, and the other, and people is trying to go to work.
I've noticed the streets of Memphis have been pretty dead since the National Guard has been here. I've seen videos of people, who drive home from work at night and they're talking about how the freeway is absolutely dead. I mean, there's hardly almost maybe 5-10 cars tops. They come home from work. They say, wow, I've never seen the freeway like this. And it's like, yeah, because all the nut jobs and weirdos decided to stay home because they don't want the smoke with the National Guard. And listen, some people still have major disagreements with the National Guard being here. And that's fine and all. But then my question is this: what's the alternative? What's the alternative? Because it seems like it really comes off. I'm not saying everybody that is thinking this way, but it just really seems like some people would just rather nothing be done at all.
Man, y'all better check on y'all folk. Them folk out here.
As long as they still letting us do what we supposed to be doing every day, who gives a fuck? Yeah, they're gonna go into black communities. Where else is the fucking crime taking place? I'm so glad I moved away from Parkway Village. You think I want to live there? Where else is the whatever army, whatever they are, National Guard supposed to go? They're not going to sit in Germantown and Cordova and Carterville and all these other places y'all talking about. Why would they sit there? Why? I'm getting so tired of this conversation of, oh, they racist, they profiling black and brown. No, they're looking for them Hispanics probably under the table, acting like they ain't here for them, and crime. So, of course, they're going to go in those communities. What do you expect?
Hey, so they've arrived in Memphis. In 2 days, they've had 53 arrests. 20 illegal firearms found. A missing juvenile was found. Y'all, that's in 2 days. Steve Miller said this is an all-of-government support operation. That means that the ATF, the DEA, the FBI, ICE, and the Department of War are all in Memphis to handle this crime problem. They're sending all of those out into the streets with real guns and real badges to partner up with the local police to get this crime under control.
So 5 young children were rescued this week in Memphis as a result of their task force. It's a combination of the National Guard and local police efforts. And press pause for just a second on however you may feel about the federal government intervening with the National Guard to help out cities with their crime problems, in unison with them in most cases. Just press pause on that for a second. And maybe even forget that there were 150 arrests made this week in Memphis, 5 of which were known gang members and another person who had inappropriate relations with a 13-year-old. Even forget that there were dozens of weapons seized and that the democratically elected African-American mayor of Memphis is fully in support of the combined efforts between the local forces as well as the National Guard. 5 kids, guys, who were living in horror will never understand with their whole lives ahead of them, were just rescued. Reports tell us that there are tens of thousands of kids just like them across the country, and it should be the number one thing that we're all caring about. Finding and freeing them, it should be the number one story in America, but we get sidetracked with Bad Bunny doing the Super Bowl and the stupid government shutdown.
Next on deck.
Before we go any further, let me let you know the Tim Black Wolfpack is dedicated, committed, 10 toes down to reporting the truth, unbiased, and not working for any political party. If that sounds good to you, go to jointimblack.com, become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. So Memphis, they've been kind of much under the radar, I think. It hasn't really been covered like Chicago. And that's crazy. That goes to show you what media does. Because Memphis has the number one slot when it comes to shootings, or number one slot, I think, when it comes to bodies in a city in the United States. I think Memphis holds that record. But when we hear about crime, we hear about shootings, we all think Chicago. Just point that out. So Memphis Safe Task Force arrest details. Let's look at what's been happening since they did the deport when they deployed themselves into Memphis, Tennessee. We have a number of arrests. They have warrant pickups, 99 warrant pickups. Warrant pickups to people that had warrants, people that were supposed to be apprehended when they had the warrant issued. They got administrative, including ICE immigration-related detentions in my violations leading to custody. So I only know what that means. Firearms violations, they got 41. New criminal charges, 71. Fresh arrests for drugs, gang activity, and violent crimes. As far as the firearms violations, they seized 73 total guns in the week. It's only been a week. Miscellaneous includes assaults on officers and recoverings of missing persons. Yes, there's been some assaults on officers. Memphis has been fighting back. I tell you, they've been fighting back. The task force recorded 321 total arrests, and that's a significant jump. Earlier tallies like 273 after 6 days. So they've been working with the Memphis Police Department because, well, as stated in the video, the mayor is on board. What else we got? Notable arrests. High-profile cases highlight the task force focus on serious threats. Let's talk about the real meat on the potato. The real meat on the bone. Yeah, the real meat on the bone when it comes to Memphis are those child abductions and, of course, the deportations. We got gang and violent offenders, multiple gang members, including one wanted for murder, arrested on October 4th, with 16 guns seized in that one operation alone. So one bad hombre is gone. A Trinidad Aragua gang member and terrorist suspect nabbed in the first 72 hours. They got X crimes. A man wanted for child was arrested early in the deployment. Immigration related, an undocumented juvenile with meth. Border ICE warrants contributed to 82 administrative arrests. That's what they're calling it when you get picked up when you are undocumented. They call it administrative arrest because of paperwork. Assault on an officer, one suspect charged in an attack. Now I gotta bring some attention to what he mentioned, a couple things that were mentioned in the clip. One of those things is that he pointed out that they got an African-American mayor that's going along with it. And, I find that crazy, man. Look, I think it matters that what party he's from. Is he a Democrat? That's my question. Is he a Democrat mayor? I don't know. If he's a Democratic mayor and he's going against the grain with the Democrats, maybe that's something you point out. But just the sheer fact that he's black, that don't mean he don't go along with this. It also depends on what the people that elected him want him to do. So I would hope he's doing the bidding of the people that put him in office. And that would be, that would be the best way to look at it. But this idea that even black people want help. No, black people do want help. Like this, I can't tell you enough how much it seems like the Democratic Party and liberal media has totally driven this narrative that there are all these black people that don't want something done about crime in their neighborhoods. And particularly when it comes to gang members, Trinidad Aragua, any other gang member related stuff. Like, I don't know where this notion comes from. This whole coalition, that's with regular citizens. And even that is tenuous. What I mean by that is, it's still a very segregated country. A lot of cities are very segregated. That's just the way America is. This whole melting pot thing, it occurs. I'm not saying it doesn't occur, but it's not everywhere, okay? When it comes to people being undocumented, when it comes to people's safety, everybody wants safety. All people want to live in safety conditions. I don't care who they are. Nobody's like, only the most brain-dead knuckleheads are like, I want to be where there's shootings. Yeah, until you realize you can get shot, or until you do get shot, and you're like, I don't want to be where there's shooting. When you were young and your brain ain't fully formed, you haven't put two and two together yet. You don't know that your ass could be here gone tomorrow, and that means you too. You think you special. You get a little older, you get over 25, you're like, wow, I'm still here. Maybe I should keep it that way. So what this guy said about there being a black mayor in Memphis, it just rubbed me the wrong way. Stop with the boys. Stop. Next, he hit home on the traffic kids. The traffic kids really hit home for me because when I first started covering politics, man, I realized how little money we put into this, right? What America puts into the budgets for, rescuing, finding, protecting kids, man, it'll make you sick, bro. We send more money to Ukraine than we spend taking care of missing kids. Real talk. People say it's a priority. It's like part of a bigger budget. I don't even know it gets its own budget. Like, it's like rolled into other things. It's not as much. The focus on it is not where it should be, anywhere near where it should be, right? And he says, hey, this should be the main talking point. We had 4 or 5 kids, I think he said 5 kids, that were rescued. That's a big deal. That's 5 lives. They weren't being taken to Disney World to have fun and given candy and toys, and it wasn't a vacation. So they're gonna be horrible, horrific lives, followed probably by either drug addiction or death, early death. You understand that? And that was averted because of this task force. Now, if you send in a force, I don't care how much it costs, and they only did that. They only went in to get the kids, I would call it a success. But you see me, I'm a person that loves kids. I care about kids. And I would want to see that happen. So if Trump sent in all these forces to go get kids, would the Democrats have a problem with it? Well, now that we know in Memphis, that's a byproduct of what took place. The kids were rescued. Does that change people's opinions about what happened? No, it doesn't. Because that wasn't the focus. That's not how it was presented to the public. And because, well, it's MAGA. And the Democrats got to be against MAGA no matter what good comes out of it. Recently in Chicago, a woman said that during a raid in an apartment building, that an ICE agent, according to her, kids were in zip ties, getting into the paddy wagon with their parents, and she said, this is inhumane. There's no humanness. She didn't say inhumane. She said no human, or something. And she said the ICE agent looked her in the eye and said, F them kids. And you know what? That became a talking point. It's a lot of like CNN and MSNBC programs, whatever, that were like running with that statement. And people would act appalled like, oh, and he said F the kids. My God. I can't believe these are just horrible. Trump, MAGA, ICE people are disgusting. He said F the kids. Democrats are saying F the kids every day. Democrats are the party of F the kids. So are the Republicans. When it comes to feeding kids, they F the kids. I mean, we got a whole political system set on saying F the kids. When I say Black Americans haven't moved more than 2 percentage points in home ownership in 50 years, but they've been voting for the same party 90% of the time, that's F the kids. Because that means people are not building wealth to pass to their kids. Black families have been stunted. Their growth has been stunted on purpose by a system, and then on top of it, compounded with a party that don't give a shit. It just wants their votes. Right? So, in effect, at the end of the day, they saying F the kids. When Trump sends feds into Memphis, and we're talking about 30 different agencies. It's a lot of agencies. God, I couldn't believe how many agencies that were involved in this. I forget the number, but it was a lot of agencies. Okay? I got it written somewhere here. Just take my word. It's dozens of agencies going in here. Okay. So they go in, and we got hundreds of different people going in to do this job in Chicago, for instance. Folks, when they're rescuing these kids, And it's not getting any attention. There's no focus by corporate media. They want to instead focus on what a woman said outside that she said she heard a particular ICE agent say. But aren't all of media saying the same thing? Because they're not reporting on it. Like the man said in the video, they're not reporting on it. We heard more about Bad Bunny, Dirty Bunny. He was on SNL. He said people need to learn Spanish. Which ain't even a new thing. I think somebody said it years ago. You're American. You're in America now. Learn Spanish. It's not a new thing. It's a throwback line. But people got all mad. But no one seems to be upset, mad, happy about kids being rescued from a life of terror, horror, degrading, soul-crushing. I don't know, man. I just think it's crazy. So as usual, we focus on the wrong things, but that's because people are not getting the benefit of the exposure of the real shit. Now, don't get me wrong, man. I haven't given up on all the people. I just haven't. I refuse to give up on everybody. I think if people were presented with this, a portion of them, not all of them, because some of them are like zombies. They are there. If Trump did it, it's bad, no matter what happens. No matter what comes out of it that helps people, no matter what it is, anything that comes out of it that's good, so what? And how dare you think it's good? It's just a trick. He only rescued, they saved them kids just to take those kids and then take them out back and send them to Rwanda or Saudi Arabia or something. But that's what they was, you know what? I'm joking, but I know how their mind works. They will find a spin to take a positive and make it negative as hell. They make the spin worse than the reality. Like worse than you could ever imagine. So anyway, that's my thing, Johnson. So what's happening now in Memphis is the deployment, and I'm on the record, fam. Look, if you really want to clean up crime, you have to do more things than just this. Yes, a heightened police presence helps momentarily. I'm not a part of those people that say, oh, more cops, what's that going to do? That could keep you from getting shot today. It could be, you never know. There was somebody who saw you was like, I'm about to rob this motherfucker. And then they saw a cop and they was like, but maybe not today. You don't even know. You don't even know all the times your ass could have got. You have no idea. You just walking around, floopy-doop. I just got my paycheck. And somebody was like, I'm broke as hell. Look at him walking, all happy. He must have just got his paycheck. You don't know. But then they saw a cop car. They're like, oh, I got a bad feeling. Today ain't a good day to get that dude. You lucky. My stomach is touching. My stomach is grumbling too. Woo, I'd have put you in the woods. So we got these people that are controlled and programmed by the Democratic Party to believe that police presence does nothing. It does something. It don't do everything. Cops are never put here to help broke people anyway. So you operating with the fallacy. Police were created to bring back property, protect the property of the rich white landowner. Your ass, as Steve Harvey was saying, your ass wasn't included. Okay? So let's, you know what I'm saying? So that's first of all. Of course, policing, it should be more updated, but it hasn't. Policing is basically the same way. We've been doing policing the same way for the last 100 years. And that's dumb in itself. That's because people are making money and police unions and all this other shit that we don't want to go into. Police unions and school unions, teachers unions are some of the most corrupt shit in the world. Okay, you need to know that. May the church say amen. And if anybody disagreeing with me, that's because you don't know anything. Talk to somebody that knows something. Talk to a friend. Don't believe me. Talk to one of your friends and be like, oh, teachers union, oh my God. You know how hard it is to get rid of a teacher? You got to catch the teacher shooting up at work while reading kid porn with a stolen diamond necklace around their neck to get them out of the job. It'd be like in the mid-shoot too. Because if you don't catch them in the main shoot, you got to catch them with the needle in the arm, with the porn magazine open, the kitty porn magazine open, with the necklace all dangling, the light hitting it a certain way, just to get them. Because they'll say, oh, I wasn't good. I was just doing an experiment. So you got to catch them dead to rights. That's how good the teachers union is. Teachers are so bad, they just get past. Bad teachers just get new jobs. Just like bad cops get new jobs. Fail. The cop that shot Tamir Rice in the head, an unarmed black kid with a toy gun in the park at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a sunny winter day with nobody around, shot him in 3 seconds. That guy got another job a month later, like nothing happened. Just like, hey, I heard you shot a kid. Here's your desk. Here you go, right here. Enjoy. And you got a new partner. Welcome to the force. Like nothing happened because police unions fought for the guy to keep a job. Like anybody would have shot him. He was big for his age. He eats a lot. How could we not know he was only 12? Anyway, my point is, damn, I don't even know where I'm going with this. Anyway, let's cut this off, Tim. Let's end it. Memphis deployed. They sent troops. They sent federal agents into Memphis for a reason. Let's cut this shit. Black people do want peace and safety, but we need to be smarter. We don't just go with the okie doke. We need more than that. We need more officers, but we need also more resources. We need more options. We need better jobs. We need a lot of things. We need a lot of things at one time. We need a holistic approach to this. But what I will admit is that, yeah, police presence does make a difference. And only people that say it doesn't are people that don't know what crime feel like. Okay? You ever lost a loved one to crime? If an officer would have been nearby, maybe that wouldn't have happened. Maybe that would have gave you time. And that's all I say on this. So let's keep it moving, Johnson. Thank you. Hit the like button if that makes sense to you. I'm not saying that what Trump doing is perfect. It ain't perfect. You know what? It ain't trying to be perfect. It ain't even really trying to solve the problem. It's trying to prove a point. And the point is, F them kids. No. F them Democrats. Yeah, I think Trump wants to make it so there'll never be another Democratic president ever. Or something like that.
The Tim Black Show streams Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wolfpack.